Brothers and female brothers, we are diving back into Warhammer 40k lore. Now, as you know, I am here absorbing all lore. All lore will be absorbed. We are going to be overanalyzing every cartoon, every anime, every abridged series, all lore. That's what we do here on the channel. Daily uploads, just Lord Nux and Or. And you guys, you people of various races and cultures, thank you for being here. Today, we are looking at the most racist characters of all time. The Adeptus Custodes. Okay, I don't know if they're actually racist. I just said that because I thought it was funny and provocative. So, Crack Duck made a video on the lore of the Adeptus Custodes from Warhammer. These are literally the goats. They're the goats. They're the space marine mad lads that are actually guarding the God Emperor of mankind. I know very little about them, but I will know a lot more about them in a minute. We are absorbing all lore. I'm still waiting for God of War lore dive. That'll probably happen at some point. All right, let's go, baby.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
Do you like being the super bestest guy ever?
Yes.
Well, here you go.
Whoa.
Not them.
No.
Even more bestest.
Yes.
No,
not them
even
either.
bestest.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Here we go.
Ah, the Adeptus Custodes. God, they're so fucking cool. God damn it, they're so cool. Holy shit. The depressed gold boys, yeah. Out there guarding the Emperor for the last 10,000 years. You know, apparently, someone told me there was this whole lore drop that apparently they once released a giant eldritch space monster in the actual Imperial Palace just because they were so bored so they could hunt it down and murder them.
The Adeptus Custodes are some of the most, if not the most, elite warriors in the entire galaxy.
They are. I'm pretty sure they are the most elite warriors in the galaxy, and they never actually do anything. They just stay in the Imperial Palace.
So, today, we're going to talk all about what these banana dudes are all about. Also,
bro, they're the original banana guards!
So, today, we're going to talk all about what these banana dudes are all...
Bro, they are actually the original banana guards. Bro, I can't believe this. We are living in an era where Princess Bubblegum became the God Emperor of mankind. This is crazy, dude. They're the same person. It's unbelievable. Look at that. They're identical. I can't even tell the difference. Elite warriors.
All about. Also, stay tuned till the very end for a special giveaway announcement. Ooh. These golden fellas are basically the greatest single warriors in the entire Imperium and debatably in the entire setting. The Adeptus Custodes...
Wait, what? The Adeptus Custodes are gonna be like better warriors than like whatever they're called, like the Necron mad lads. You know the Necron, the uber powerful Necron people? Like this, you think the Silent King is a worse warrior than a single Custodes? That's crazy.
These are the ultra mega elite guardians of the Emperor who primarily reside on Terra, but also do operations across the galaxy to the Emperor's benefit.
Oh, I didn't even know that they ever left Terra. I thought they literally stayed in Terra. They have insane tech. They're still nobles. That's crazy. I really thought they never left Terra. All right, that's why we do these lore dives.
It is said that the Custodes are the Space Marines as Space Marines are the Guardsmen.
No! There is no way! There is no way that is appropriate. If that statistic is correct, then they are so much more dangerous than I ever imagined. Because Guardsmen are like fucking toilet paper compared to Space Marines. One Custode could probably solo a squad of Space Marines? Are you joking? When Gilliman was revived, he told them to get the fuck out there and help the Imperium. I am shocked. Custodes have like the same strength as Primarchs? Are you joking? And they're just sitting there bumbling around, twiddling their thumbs, sticking their thumb up their asses in the fucking Imperial Palace while the Imperium is out there getting cooked across the galaxy? They're just bumblefuckling themselves? Okay, I just want to put this into perspective for a second. I just want to put this into perspective for just like a split second, okay? All right. So let me show you what a Space Marine is. Like I'm just trying to put this into perspective. Okay. So this is combat from the official secret level Warhammer video. Like this is official. Like this is canon, right? it's frozen. Because that's how strong they... No! Why? Oh, we're back. Alright, like, look, these are Space Marines. These guys, I guess, are guardsmen equivalent. Alright, soldiers. I'm just putting this into perspective. These are Space Marines compared to guardsman level threats. Alright, so anyway, it keeps going, but you get the idea I'm trying to make here. If that is the power level difference between Space Marines and Guardsmen, imagine how strong the Custodes are, if this is an actual relevant comparison. Oh my god. The original leader of the Custodes, Constantine Valdor, was basically a Primarch. Valdor could have killed any of them, maybe not Sanguinius or the Lion. So the leader of the Custodes is actually just fucking Primarch level. Oh my god. Lord, that's insane! I guess this is a good time to announce that I'm currently working on a Warhammer podcast. I don't want to spoil anything about it, but I'm working on it where basically every episode of the Warhammer podcast, we're going to be reading a book, like one of the Warhammer novels, and then it's going to be like a blind review, as well as like talking about what we love about it and shit. And we're gonna get through the entire fucking franchise. That's right. I'm just announcing that right here, but that's
So yeah, you could say they're pretty tough. A single custodian is said to be able to turn the tide of entire wars, a squad of custodians also being able to do the same thing.
Alright, true.
But faster and betterer. But much like the endless hordes of evildoers threatening the Imperium, there's another insidious threat looming. Malicious identity thieves, endless hordes of spam calls.
This video is sponsored by Incogni, guys. Literally, that's crazy. Alright, I respect it.
Get 60% off the annual plan and protect your data today. But anyways, the Adeptus Custodes originated as the Legio Custodes sometime around the Unification War. Their exact time of creation is debated in-universe, some Imperial scholars believing them to have been made after the ill-fated Thunder Warriors.
Oh, rip Thunder Warriors! Remember the Thunder Warriors? The Emperor created the Thunder Warriors to kind of fucking create a militia police to unite humanity under the banner of the Emperor of Mankind. And then he killed out all the Thunder Warriors. Listen, the Emperor has his motives, I'm sure, and that is why I will always serve the God Emperor of mankind, okay?
And others citing evidence of them working alongside the Emperor before the Thunder Warriors' creation, and that they were in fact the first warriors of the Emperor.
I do like that it's debated in-world as to the actual history of the Custodes, because I love the idea that in a fantasy setting, with thousands and tens of thousands of years of history to just human, like, actual mankind, I like the idea that history isn't fully understood by everyone, and it is largely debated. Just kind of how ours is, too. It's just good shit for the setting.
To me, it's quite obvious that the Custodes were created first. Not only does it make thematic sense that the Emperor's most loyal and stalwart companions were his first sons, but take a look at this. What is that? Exactly. It's lightning. And lightning always comes before thunder. Food for thought.
You know, honestly, he makes a very good point.
But regardless of their time of creation, their purpose of creation is quite clear. The Custodians were made to be the perfect warriors. Unmatched skill and tact, impossibly fast, strong as no other, and most importantly, they possess an unbreakable and undying loyalty to their master, the God Emperor of mankind.
Incredibly based. I need me some Custodes. I'll be real here. I could use a Custode or two, alright? I would love some Custodes. Yeah. I'm thinking about that. I like this a lot. This is really good. I could get used to having a couple of Custodes.
But despite their great might,
like, dude, a single one of these could fucking beat Darth Vader. Could we stop comparing fucking power scaling in different universes?
The Custodians were never intended to be the Imperium's military force. In comparison to Space Marines, and especially to Thunder Warriors, the creation of a Custodian is far more elegant and complex. The original aspirants were secretly kidnapped children of Terran nobles, but with the Custodes' existence now...
I'm not based, chat. Don't take that out of context. That was just me mumbling about something else, probably. All right, I was mumbling about something else.
Public and revered, to join the ranks of the Custodes is seen as a great and powerful honor.
This is the most honorable form of child trafficking I've ever seen. Only the God Emperor of mankind can take something that's largely unethical like child trafficking and truly make it a great honor. I love good, empathetic rulers like the God Emperor of mankind.
So, when word gets out that more are being made, Terran Imperials and Pilgrims fervently throw their babies at the holy recruiters.
That's crazy. Holy shit. Damn. It's like, when it says that they're recruiting more Custodes, people actually give up their children. Holy shit.
Although the exact process is unknown, every single custodian made is an intricate piece of art, perfect in every way. Originally, they were handcrafted by the Emperor himself, but now, custodians can also be made by trusted Chiturgians on account of... Yeah,
bro, the COVID vaccine is making Custodes, yeah, right, dude.
Yeah, that. Custodians are taken as little itsy-bitsy babies and then genetically altered using the Emperor's own genetic material in the process.
Wait, they use the Emperor's genetic material to make the Custodians? Holy fuck, no wonder why they're so powerful.
Similar to Space Marines, they're implanted with gene seed and given extra organs. However, the process is much more finicky for the Custodes, and very few aspirants are successful in their ascension.
Wait, so let's say it's 1 in 100, okay? Let's say one Custodian in 100 actually survives the process. These nobles are giving up their child for a 1% chance of it becoming a Custode. That's crazy.
One key reason that success is so rare is the esoteric bioalchemy required to complete the process. What exactly this entails is unknown, but legend states that during the process, every custodian is essentially soul bonded to the Emperor in some way or another.
That's gay sex, for those of you that are unaware. Soul bond is just a metaphor for gay sex.
And this not only gives them supreme loyalty, but also helps them in battle, as the hand of the Emperor guides.
It's 1 in 1,000 for Custodes. It's 1 in 100 for Space Marines. Damn, that's a crazy metric. It's 1 in 1,000 for Custodes. Shit.
And protects them. Well, the hand of the Emperor guides all, but especially those he likes.
Based nepotism! That's what I'm talking about! Yes! Yes! Why actually grow through merit if you could grow through simply having a rich fucking guy that likes you a lot? I agree completely! Use the system to your advantage, goddammit!
In addition to their prowess in battle, the Custodians were also created to be philosophers, diplomats, and scholars.
Wait, what? Dude, these are like philosophical, scholarly, diplomat, killer warriors, elite soldiers, and they're just fucking sitting on their asses in the Imperial Palace for 10,000 years?
During the aspirant processes, their minds were remade not only to deter the filthy myths of corruption, but also instilled with immense knowledge.
Knowledge, bro, dude. They're super smart. Chaos immune motherfuckers.
Knowledge of a myriad of combat forms, but also a knowledge of history, art, geography, politics, and basically everything else.
That's crazy.
Thus, it was clear that the Custodes' true purpose was as the Emperor's companions in every sense of the word. They were the ultimate guardians, as well as being individuals fit to hold conversation and musings with the Emperor. In his life, the Emperor would engage in deep intellectual discussions,
like boobs or ass. True, that's real.
Philosophical debates, and even ask advice from his Custodes. However, despite being the ultimate guardians, it's still quite hard to guard against 4 Satans and a wanton sun. So
true, there are a lot of Satans in Warhammer 40k. That is true. Depression hit them hard. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. How even these elite, goddamn, epic warriors, like, they still go through shit. That's Warhammer 40k. That's Warhammer 40k. It's not a happy place.
So, after the Emperor was gravely wounded by Horus, the Custodes went into deep mourning. But
bro, this is so sad. The naked thing is not canon. They wore emo black clothes instead. However, I kind of wish it was, though, because being sad and getting naked is very funny.
They didn't let their sadness affect their grind, and they continued to stand watch over the Golden Throne, the continent-sized Imperial Palace, and by extension, the world of Terra.
Wait.
Golden Throne, the continent.
This is the palace? This is a single palace? The whole fucking Elden Ring map is just one palace? The Lion's Gate, the Ascender's Gate, the Sanctum Imperialis, the Sanctum of 1,000 Eyes. Holy shit, there is so much lore in Warhammer 40k.
Inside
Trajan stole Custodes? I know, I read the book.
his Imperial Palace, and by extension, the world of Terra. And soon after the siege, Guilliman and Valdor also issued the Edict of Restraint, which meant that most custodians would have to remain on Terra with the sole purpose of guarding the Emperor.
Yeah.
This would later prove to be what we in the industry call
A huge fucking awful idea.
a dum-dum move.
Correct. Incredibly stupid. All you guys stay and protect the Emperor. You're literally the strongest fighting force of the Imperium of Man is literally fucking stuck in a palace the size of New York City. Guys!
But
Wait.
this would later prove to be what we in the industry call a dum-dum move.
Pause for reasoning. It kind of had benefits, especially since the Custodes were weakened after the heresy, so it makes sense to dedicate their efforts to keeping the Emperor safe, but it's still kind of short-sighted as it doesn't take a genius to figure out that killing threats before they get to you to literally your front door might actually be a good idea. But this is a bit of lore is clearly just the way to limit the Custodes in the universe. Also, some Custodes still did leave Terra during this time to fight direct threats to the Emperor, but it was still on a small scale usually. Yeah, makes sense. That's crazy. Bro. All the Custodes stay around. My golden cock, stay around the golden throne. Never leave.
But after the fall of Cadia and Guilliman's resurrection, he lifted the edict, and now the Custodes could go to the most threatening threats in the galaxy to
God damn, we are literally in the coolest era of 40k right now. You know that? Like, it's crazy that I'm jumping into the 40k lore here, where it's literally at its best.
quell them before they could reach Terra and threaten the Emperor. Wow, what a grand idea. Shame it took 10,000 years, the resurrection of Blue Jesus, and the galaxy splitting in half to think of it.
Stop, bro. No, listen. They were just following orders, okay? Good soldiers follow orders. That's what I learned that from the Clone Wars, goddammit. Blue Jesus told them to stay in the fucking palace, and then Blue Jesus went into a coma. They were just waiting for an order, okay? Listen, no. They got Commando SEAL team to babysit. No!
But anyways, one of the coolest shield companies, the Dread Host, primarily fill the role of going off Terra.
Wait, there are entire... Wait. There are different legions of Custodes?
And hunting down the greatest threats to the Imperium. And beyond defending the palace, the most super special the Custodes get the privilege of directly guarding the Emperor. These are called the Companions, and they stand completely still and silent in a battle-ready stance in the off chance that something gets into the Golden Throne and needs to be killed.
Bro, so you got a fucking squad of the Companions that are literally always battle-ready, surrounding the Emperor at all times. And it's been like this for 10,000 years.
This is also, of course, incredibly boring.
Oh my god.
Since they just stand there. And even for a mighty custodian, this monotony is extremely taxing and mind-breaking, so they need to be switched out every so often. I personally would at least give them like a yo-yo or something to break the monotony, but
no, they're standing there, all right? They're on duty, all right? It's important.
Even without a yo-yo, the switch outs are still quite far apart. One dude was able to stand watch for a whole century before needing to be replaced.
A century of standing still and not moving or doing anything, constantly battle ready. Bro. Do Custodes not shit?
Pretty wild. My Gen Z attention spanless, useless brain
They don't even give them TikToks, bro.
couldn't even stand still for like 6 minutes probably.
True.
But guarding the Imperial Palace isn't just standing around all day doing nothing. In reality, it's standing around all day doing nothing while sometimes playing games.
What?
Or I guess game singular because they only play one game,
What?
and that game is the Blood Games.
Woo! I thought he was gonna say staring contest. Blood Game sounds a lot better.
The Blood Games were made by Constantine Valdor or Alfarius. I don't really remember actually, and also I guess it doesn't really matter since everyone is Alfarius.
True, I am Alfarius, and that is a lie.
But
I have to keep doing the Primarch lore dives. I know. I took a little break from the Primarch lore dives. I'm up to Jagadai Khan, I believe. I gotta keep going.
anyways, they made it after the Thunder Warriors Primarch led a coup in the Imperial Palace that was creatively named
The Thunder Warriors had a Primarch? I think he misspoke there, right?
named the Palace Coup. The coup was thwarted, but it raised concerns over the palace defenses. So, the Blood Games is essentially
a
mock assault where a custodian makes a wacko plan to try and assassinate the emperor, and the other custodians have to defend against
Oh my god! This is like the craziest capture the flag of all time. Alright, come up with an assassination attempt and we'll try to stop you.
them. In theory, this helps keep the Custodes sharp and helps to expose any weaknesses in the Custodes defense plan so that they can reinforce weak areas. And these plans can get pretty wacky and out of the box since the Custodes want to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
But nerd stuff aside and back to the they hit stuff good aspect. As I've said before, the Custodes are basically the
Yeah, someone told me in chat, sometimes they capture dangerous Xenos or Chaos creatures and they just let them loose in the palace as a training arc so that they could destroy it. That's crazy, dog.
manifestation of that kid who makes the bestest, most strongest, most powerfulest character on the playground. On top of their unmatched reflexes, strength, and speed, the Custodes are also very well versed in a number of martial arts and fighting styles called katas, designed to counter any foe that they may face. Since the
I love how they have like martial arts and nuclear weapons attached to their spear. This is gonna come in handy.
Adeptus Custodes is essentially an army of one-man armies, the Custodes battle as individuals rather than in squads like Space Marines. They of course can work in teams, but due to their mega reflexes and ultra precision, they can pretty much do their own thing without—
It's an army of one-man armies. He didn't misspeak. Valdor killed the Primarch of the Thunder Warriors. Damn. Alright.
worry of getting punched in the head by one of their buddies or something. The
Fun fact, Omegalon or Alfarius, I don't remember which one of the two, attempted the Blood Games and almost succeeded. What? That's crazy.
Custodes have no formations, no real army-wide coordination, or even a real command structure.
Bro, they don't need a command structure. They're one-man armies. Oh my god. That's like on the one hand, it's like sad that they don't have like more regimented shit, but on the other hand, it's such an insane flex. It's such a ridiculous flex. We don't need structure. We don't need coordination. I am an army.
Each custodian is roughly equal in terms of mental and physical prowess, so ranks in the Adeptus Custodes are usually just for respects or literal awards for big achievements.
Damn.
Ranks aren't even—
Apparently, dude, I love that my chat knows this shit. Apparently, when the Webway was destroyed, a lot of the Golden Boys died. And just so you know how important that was for the Emperor said he would rather kill 10,000 humans to save one custodian. Damn. Sounds like Daddy has a favorite son.
necessarily tied to feats, since Custodes traditionally just get names added to their name after they do something cool. Therefore, some Custodes have names that literally fill entire books. I sure bet that makes signing legal documents quite the hassle.
It's longer than Donald Trump's signature.
Waka waka. But anyways, the Custodes roll into battle knowing their objectives, so they rarely need to be ordered by the others. If anything, a custodian would likely be like, oh hey, can you kill that guy while I kill this guy? And then like half a second later, they high-five because they just won the war.
Nice.
Another interesting tidbit is that
Who the fuck is that guy?
the Custodes sometimes prolong battles with unfamiliar opponents so that they can learn about the new enemy's fighting style.
Oh, he kills him in 3 seconds instead of 1. So he could learn his fighting style. This is crazy. This guy's a monster.
To improve their own skills even more. But if they must, they can just sweep through hordes and hordes of opponents with ease, gun down great beasts with masterfully placed shots, or strike down enemy duelists with a few deft strokes. But what do they do all those wacky, deadly things with? Well, they can kill
All right, the weaponry, baby.
basically anything with just their bare hands and razor sharp abs, but they generally don't do this and prefer to use their arsenal of master-crafted gear. Each custodian has custom armor precisely fitted to them and have unique decorations suited to the wearer.
It's so cool because it's so wild because a lot of Warhammer 40k, like philosophically speaking, by the way, this is why I think that Warhammer 40k is one of the greatest franchises ever made. Philosophically speaking, uniformity is like a really big deal in Warhammer 40k. Like if you look at the guardsmen, there's basically no individuality to guardsmen. They're just an endless stream of billions of soldiers going to lay their lives down for the Emperor's war, you know? For the sake of the Imperium of mankind and shit like that. So uniformity is like a really big deal, where individuality is not at all appreciated if you're just a lowly guardsman. When it comes to the Space Marines, individuality is more appreciated, but it's not individuality on a pure individualistic sense. Individuality is appreciated and respected on more of a communal basis. Like, you know, there are 18 different Space Marine factions. Your individuality is the faction of Space Marines that you align with. So, once again, more individuality than, let's say, a nameless one of billions of soldiers and guardsmen, but not individuality in a personalistic sense per se, just kind of one part of a powerful group. And then the Custodes are a higher level about this, where it's all about individualism. They are one-man armies. Every single one is a name, remembered by the titles that they have and the monsters that they've slain. Their weapons, their gear, and their armor is individually based. It's really interesting to look at the way the structure is built up to show you the power of individuality when it comes to mankind, and the power of a group when it comes to mankind. The beauty of humans is that we are both powerful as individuals and powerful communally. And I feel like that's one of the major themes of the different structures in Warhammer 40k. And I think that's just kind of beautiful. Turns out Warhammer 40k is awesome. And definitely subscribe for more over-analysis of lore, of random shit. That's right.
This armor is made of auramite, which is naturally gold, but can have...
Bro has so much aura, it's insane. Dude literally has insane levels of aura.
Have its color changed if you don't like painting metallics. Auramite is a magic space metal that is the strongest thing maybe ever and is near impervious to damage. It's also quantum inert, whatever the hell that means.
Nice.
But next up, their standard weapon is the Guardian Spear, which is honestly one of the coolest 40k weapons to me. This thing is a halberd with a power blade and bolter.
That's insanely badass for no reason. I love how Warhammer 40k does this. It's like, all right, we're making badass weapons. So this is a halberd, and it has a bolter on it. Now, for those of you that don't know what a bolter is, this is a machine gun that shoots bullets where each bullet is the size of a torpedo. It is a torpedo machine gun attached to a laser halberd, okay? Other popular weapons in 40k are chain swords, giant plasma swords that have chainsaws on them. Why do you even need... It doesn't matter why you need that shit. It's just insane.
Fucking epic.
True.
All my homies love taking two weapons together for a mega weapon. And look at this weird looking guy. His pose is...
Wait, this is a custode? This is a custodian?
Dumb, but he has a melta spear. Let's go! Custodes can also opt to take Sentinel Blades, which are also pretty wicked cool. These are humongo power swords, also with bolters. This time, double-barreled for doubled lead.
Double-barreled torpedo machine guns attached to a sword. Like, that is so, like, over the top in every way.
Shooting lead, that is. Wow!
Nice.
Also, the guard being the magazines makes absolutely no sense, but it's the coolest shit ever, so who cares? The Custodes also have Alaris Terminators for when...
Holy shit, look at these.
They want to be even more impervious to damage. They've got a lot of grav vehicles to show how rich they are, including a grav rhino, which is pretty funny. They have dreadnoughts in the off chance...
It's a box with rockets. Literally peak.
They do end up getting killed, and they also have one of the coolest units ever called the Blade Champion.
Dude, it is not fair. These guys are literally the goats.
Beyond having the best model in the Custodes range, the Blade Champions are honored elites among elites who are master bladesmen and hunt down enemy commanders and the most threatening elites that they may have.
Bro, they enter a war, just avoid the army and literally just gun it straight to the general and fucking kill him. That's insane.
They wear less armor both because they're so skilled they usually don't get hit, and because it allows even more maneuverability and speed as they zip around the battlefield like some kind of bloodthirsty golden missile man. And finally, I just wanted to mention...
dude, they made an entire agent literally called the fuck you, but you in particular agent. That's insanity.
The Sisters Asylum.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know that these are the Custodes that started off like the whole drama where people wanted to start including female Custodes, even though the Custodes were only men for literally all of the history of Warhammer 40k. And like that caused like the whole culture war, woke versus anti-woke shit. Like stop including, don't change the lore to include female Custodes. And a lot of people complained because misogynism.
Bloodthirsty golden missile man. And finally, I just wanted to mention the Sisters of Silence.
So the Sisters of Silence are literally the alternative version of the Custodes. And you know it's based because they silence the Sisters. They are so fucking smart. They are so fucking smart. So shut up, miss me with your anti-woke culture war bullshit. Stop changing lore of shit just to be cringe. The Sisters of Silence are literally here.
They might get their own video in the future, but here they serve in tandem with the Custodes as the talons of the Emperor.
Damn.
The Custodes are the right hand of the Emperor.
And they're silent because, you know, bitches be talking. Now it's a joke. That was a joke. I don't actually condone any form of bitch language on this channel.
And the Sisters are the left. There's a cool duality to them as they cover the Custodes' semi-vulnerability to Psychers, and since the Sisters of Silence are
right, wait, what?
all blanks.
They're all blanks? Holy shit. So I read Xenos. That's one of the books of Warhammer 40k that I actually read so far. Blanks are super rare. They stop all form of chaos and psychic powers. What are blanks? Blanks are like, imagine a little black hole, but it only sucks in psychic energy. That's kind of what they are. So this squad is insane. Like the insane fighter, like an actual super soldier just on basic combat, and someone that completely nullifies all psychic energy from interfering. And probably also a pretty good soldier.
The Sisters of Silence main purpose, however, is to hunt down rogue Psychers, gather Psychers to be trained in the
Damn, witch hunters, that's crazy.
Telepathica, or gather Psychers to be sacrificed to fuel the Golden Throne.
Yeah, as we know, the Emperor needs like, what is it, 1,000 Psychers sacrificed to the Emperor every single day to keep him alive. So these people are in charge of, I guess that.
But that's the Custodes. Super cool stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
no, these guys are awesome.
Being the bestest ever is just fun, and the Custodes exemplify that. The Custodes aren't exactly my favorite. As a guard player, I'm kind of on the opposite side of the elite spectrum. But yeah, I'm not stupid. I can enjoy a giant golden guy going, whoop.
I think the beauty of Warhammer 40k is there's literally something for everyone. They're so good.
Woo, woo.
Why do we need female Custodes when we have Sisters of Silence? Correct, we don't! They're literally just changing the lore because they feel the need to sit and defecate on someone else's world building.
With his badass gun spear killing an entire army single-handedly. I've also notoriously said that Custodes don't belong on tabletop and should just be a commemorative model line at most, and I still kind of think that, but also, like, really, who cares? And if people are playing the army and enjoying it, what the hell? They have merit to exist. With that being
well, that's nice. That's nice. This dude over here just gave human rights to the Custodes. That's pretty great.
said, they should 100% never, ever be in Kill Team ever again, though. But to the part everyone actually cares about, the giveaway. Woo!
Yeah, definitely check out his video for the giveaway. I don't wanna ruin it. Definitely check out his video for the giveaway. I'll link it in the description. But this was a really good video. This was a really good deep dive into the Custodes. Thank you so much for being here. This was my pretty much blind reaction to what the Custodes are actually all about. All I knew is they were super soldiers that guarded the Emperor, and now I really appreciate them a lot more. I appreciate them on a level of skill, on a level of wit. I didn't know that they had this level of individuality, which I love. I love that the spectrum of communal versus individual purpose, just how fucking badass they are, what they do this whole time, the blood games, holy shit, they are incredible. Definitely subscribe for more lore. Every day over here we upload over analysis of anime, cartoons, or lore dives. Definitely subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.